All right, today we're diving deep into the mind of one of ancient Greece's most fascinating and, honestly, most confusing thinkers, Heraclitus of Ephesus. This is a philosopher who looked at the universe and didn't see a static, predictable machine. No, he saw a living, breathing, ever-changing fire.
Now, if you've ever heard of Heraclitus, you probably heard this phrase, Ponto Re. It means everything flows. And yeah, that's kind of his greatest hit. But what we're going to see is that this idea of constant chaotic change, well, it's really just the beginning of the story.
So that's the big question, right? Is the universe just this wild, unpredictable mess? Or is there some kind of hidden logic, a secret pattern holding it all together? That's the mystery we're going to unravel today. Okay, let's get into it. First things first, let's talk about the man himself. Heraclitus was not what you'd call a social butterfly. Even back then, people called him the obscure because his writing was so puzzling. And it was totally on purpose. He seemed to believe that the deepest truths weren't meant for just anyone to stumble upon.
You know, he was born into this super noble family, but had zero interest in power. He actually gave up his hereditary title, wrote this one legendary book, and then, get this, he locked it away in a temple. Why? Apparently to keep it away from the masses. He was a true aristocrat, not just in birth, but in his whole way of thinking, preferring his own company to just about anyone else's.
So, let's get to his most famous idea, this doctrine of universal becoming. This is where that whole river thing you've heard about really takes center stage. This line is just so powerful. You cannot step into the same river twice. And why not? Well, because the next time you step in, it's new water flowing past. But here's the kicker, and this is so important. You've changed too. You aren't the same person you were just a moment ago. For Heraclitus, everything, absolutely everything, is in constant motion.
To really get how wild this was, you have to look at this other philosopher, Parmenides, who was around at the same time. Parmenides was basically arguing that true reality, what he called being, is this one perfect, unchanging thing. He said all the change we see is just an illusion. And then Heraclitus comes along, looks at the exact same world, and says the complete opposite. Change isn't the illusion, change is the only thing that's real.
So, like a lot of the thinkers back then, Heraclitus was on the hunt for the arche, the one fundamental stuff that everything else is made of. For one guy, it was water, for another, it was air, but for Heraclitus, it was something way more energetic, way more alive: fire.
And he didn't mean fire literally, like the flame on a candle. For him, fire was the perfect symbol for the entire universe. Think about it. It's always moving, always changing. It consumes things and transforms them into something else. It's pure process, pure energy. He literally said the whole cosmos was an ever-living fire.
Okay, so if everything is constantly changing, what's the engine driving all that change? Well, Heraclitus gives us a pretty shocking answer: conflict. Or as he called it, polemos, which basically means war. War is the father of all things. I mean, that sounds pretty intense, right? But he isn't talking about actual battles with swords and shields. He means that reality itself is born from this constant creative tension between opposites. Without this cosmic struggle, this war, nothing would even exist.
Just think about it for a second. What is day if you don't have night? They're total opposites, they're in conflict, but they need each other to even exist. They're really just two sides of the same coin.
Or how about this one? The way up and the way down are one and the same. And they are. It's the same path. It just depends on which direction you're headed. Your perspective is all that changes.
And he takes it all the way to the ultimate opposites, life and death. He says these aren't two separate things at all. They're just part of one single, continuous cycle of transformation. As he beautifully put it, we are living their death and dying their life.
So the key here, the really crucial insight, is that all these opposites are connected. Their conflict creates what he called a hidden harmony. It's like the tension on a bowstring or the strings of a lyre. You have these two forces pulling in opposite directions, and it's from that exact tension that you get something beautiful and powerful.
But what stops this cosmic war from just becoming total chaos? What's the rule book? This brings us to the absolute master key to Heraclitus' entire philosophy: the logos.
Now, logos is a huge idea. It's the universal law, the rational structure, the deep, deep logic that governs everything, from the flow of that river to the tension in the bow. It's the ultimate principle of order that's hidden inside all the change. It's the why behind everything that happened. And this is just brilliant.
Heraclitus says, "Don't listen to me, listen to the Logos." He didn't see himself as some genius who invented the truth. No, he was just a messenger for this universal, objective reality. And the Logos is what proves that, even with all the conflict and change, at the deepest level, everything is one.
So here's how it all clicks together. You start with this idea that reality is always flowing, always becoming. That flow is powered by the creative clash of opposites. But, and this is the amazing part, that conflict isn't just chaos. It's a perfectly balanced, rational order that is governed by one single universal law, the Logos. So, right out of what looks like chaos, you get the deepest form of order.
So why on earth should we care about this philosophy from 2,500 years ago? Well, because Heraclitus believed that understanding this system, truly getting it, was the secret to living a good, wise life. It's all about waking up.
In his very aristocratic fashion, Heraclitus basically split all of humanity into two camps. You have the sleepers, which to him was pretty much everyone. They live in their own little dream worlds, only seeing what's on the surface. But then you have the awake, the philosophers, who understand the common Logos that runs through everything. They see the hidden harmony.
And what that really means is Heraclitus gives us a powerful set of tools for our own lives. He teaches us to embrace change because it's the law of the universe. To see that conflict isn't always bad, it can create balance and harmony. To always look for the deeper pattern, the Logos, underneath the chaos of daily events. And maybe most of all, to appreciate our own small, fleeting part in this incredible cosmic dance.
When you boil it all down, this is his most enduring message. Don't get fooled by what you see on the surface. Yeah, the world can look random and chaotic, but the hidden harmony, that invisible order of the Logos, is what's really running the show. It's stronger, it's deeper, and it's more real than anything else.
Which leaves us with one last, very personal question. It's the question Heraclitus would ask every single one of us. When you look at the world, do you just see the chaotic river flowing on the surface? Or can you sense the deep, harmonious law that's guiding it all? In other words, are you awake?
If a question made you stop and think, take one more second. Philosophy doesn't give easy answers, it teaches you how to ask better questions. Like the video if you enjoy thinking. Follow Philosophy LM and keep searching together.